Alright folks, today we're working on a couple of things. One is going to be the transmission. So it appears that the transmission is shifting rough and not engaging smoothly, causing herky-jerky motions both in forward and reverse. So I did a little research, and it looks like the John Deere 300 series tractor, 318, 322, 316, have a shock absorber for the shifter lever which is that item right there, this thing. And so what that does is causes the transmission to shift in a smooth fashion, and we obviously are not getting that. So did some research, got the part, and the new part doesn't look like the old part. Here it is right here. It looks like this. So obviously that's going to go in place of that. It's a little different, but an upgrade. So we're going to work on that. And as you can tell, I got some extra wires dangling here, and I installed this trailer hitch receiver to the back of this thing. I had it left over from some other project, and a Warren 3000 winch. So what I'm going to do is, or what I started doing is installing that, and got it all wired up, but the most important parts are left to do, which is to cut these wires and then put a connector in so that this whole unit can come in and out, plug in, and I'll show you that. But I had to just move it out of the way. It was sitting in this hitch. I had to just move it out of the way so I can get in here. So I'll get cracking on that. And it looks like it's a double-sided bolt. The one is 3/16, and the other side is fitting a 10 millimeter, which is, you know, par for the course. I can't tell if this thing is supposed to have metric or standard, because the guy I got it from changed about every other bolt, and I don't never know what to grab, so I have to grab both metric and standard when working on this thing. So anyway, there's what it looks like before. That services the shift mechanism to engage the clutch, and hopefully it'll solve our problem. Anyway, it's hard to do on film because I need two hands, one to to use each side of the bolt. So I'll get it off and then show you. But it's a double-sided bolt, and there's only two, one here and one down at the other end. I'll get those off and then I'll show you when I get it out. Alright, so I got it out. Wasn't too bad. Here's the double-sided bolt. Looks like they got some old school Loctite on there, on this part. And so here's what this situation looks like. Let me see if I can find a way to do this. Maybe on the ground is the best here. Alright, so this shock absorber moves pretty freely back and forth. The new one is significantly harder to move, and that's, you know, moving, pulling pretty hard there. So obviously this is worn out, and it's not supposed to do this. This helps you shift better. So we junked the old one and install the new one, and these go in like that, and then this screws in from the other side. So I'll get this mounted up and then show you what it looks like, and then we'll take it for a spin. And this guy was total shipped to my house $42. I think it was $29 plus 12 or 13 or something like that to ship, which is kind of high, but I could only find it at one or two sites, and yeah, you kind of just got to bite the bullet, but hopefully it'll help correct our transmission shifting problem. Alright, I'll show you when I get it in. Alright, there it is installed. So, let me give you some lessons learned here. Alright, here are the tools you're going to need. 13/16 and a 10mm wrench, and same with the sockets, and socket on this side, wrench on the other, socket on this inside, wrench on the outside. Here's another important point, is tighten the back one first, because you can't get that wrench around to the back side, back there, because this is bigger than the other one. So tighten the back side first, use a wrench in a socket to get this thing installed. It really was just 2 bolts, but like everything else, it's in the kind of awkward spot and a little bit hard to get to. So that's all you need to get this in. Now, you'll look at the other situation here. This winch obviously has been mounted to a receiver ball, or I mean a receiver hitch, and it's on here to be removed and only used when necessary. I'm going to take this to a property where the winch might come in handy. Obviously not here because it's not necessary, but like not necessarily for a recovery situation, but more for maybe hooking to a tree or dragging something or something like that. Alright, let me get this fired up, and then let's take a look at if this improved the transmission situation. Alright, stand by. Alright, much better. So what happens when you shift the transmission forward, that shock absorber restricts the movement of this shift lever, and obviously makes it much smoother. So as far as the other project goes, you see the winch back there. I've got it all hooked up, except I haven't connected the power yet, and still got a mess in there. Here's the switch. I'm gonna mount it there. I just have to find the right mount system rather than cutting a hole in this dashboard. But that's what I did. And so, I mean, I guess it's not the most practical thing, but it will serve a purpose, I guess. And it's cool, and I had it, so I put it to use. Alright, I guess that's it for this go around and update. This bracket here came with the Warren winch setup, and I'm not sure it's going to work. It might work. I'll have to mess with it some more. Alright, that's it for today. Take care. Alright, so a little fun fact here. This book came with the tractor, and the guy I got it from wrote on it. It's a 1992 model, purchased in January 20th of 1993. John Deere 316. Yeah. And so here's what we get. Owner's manual, product number. There's the date it was received again. I think that's the serial number. flip through this because I did want to show you something. So this is a detailed record of every service payment that the guy had done to it. Pretty interesting. All this stuff, 1994, goes back. Another section here, just other stuff. This product did come with the snowblower. I don't see that. Nothing in there. There's a snowblower. Some more paperwork on every service he got done on this thing. That's all service records from the shop. But this is interesting here. So you see that this payment for $172.25 was the last payment on March 30th of 95. But if we flip to the front, all these checks, every single canceled check that he paid for this device with is in here. And what I'm looking for in here is the actual bill of sale that he had on there. And this is it, I think. Okay, so try to cover up some personal information in there. Anyway, here's the bill of sale from January 1993. It was $57.56 for the tractor. The snowblower attachment was $1,299, and the front blade was $717, for a grand total of $78,0806. So this tractor in 1993 cost $78,06, which is a pretty hefty payment for a tractor, especially in 1993. But for all the faults the tractor has and the damage, just dings and stuff like that, that's a pretty hefty price to pay for this thing. With the, the snowblower being $12.99 and the front blade being $717, and then tire chains and stuff is at $282. Pretty cool. All right, that's it.